G'day, my name is Jeff Gregg and I'm doing this video completely on my phone, I should point out, to explain some technical issues to do with Google and how people use Google on a phone. The first thing I want to do is explain what we're going to be doing. If I can get to it. Okay, so I want to explain the difference between the Google app versus a browser versus the internet on a phone or a tablet. And this can also be an iPhone as well. So how are they different? Okay, first of all, Google is not the internet. So let's find out what Google really is. Okay, so if I can change here. Okay, we'll go over here and ask Google what Google is. What is Google? When it gets there.
Google. Search for information about someone or something on the internet using the search engine Google.
Okay, so they're saying Google as a verb, and quite often people use the term Google something. If you're going to Google something, it means to search for something. Okay, but that's what is Google. Let's try something different. Who is Google?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia. Google LLC is an American multinational technology company that specializes in internet-related services and products.
Okay, so Google's a company. So it's not a thing, it's a company. Okay, so let's go back to what we're looking at. Okay, and say, so Google is the name of a company. All right, so it's the name of a company. The name of the company, Google, and its products are two different things. To give you an example, if we go to the internet and call up Google, all right, this is what we will get. All right, if I do that, I'll call up my browser, and that's a Google homepage. All right, if I touch this button here, which has got those boxes on it, that gives you an example of some of the products that Google have. They have a thing called My Account, Google Search, Maps, YouTube, Play, News, Gmail, Drive, etc. They have a whole lot of products. One of only is a product is this thing here, which is called this first one, which is Google Search. Okay, Google Search. Okay, most people are aware that when you type something into Google Search, okay, and I search for it, I get information on what I've typed in. For example, I've typed in Jeff, I found that. Okay, let's go a little bit further. Okay, so a very popular search website on the internet is Google. The main Google's website is a search engine. So what is a search engine? So let's ask Google what a search engine is. Okay, so I'll go back here, back to here. What is a search engine? Come on, a bit slow. It's not going to talk to me. A program that searches for and identifies items in a database that correspond to keywords or characters specified by the user. Used especially for finding particular
search engine, a program that searches for and identifies items in a database that correspond to keywords or characters specified by the user. Used especially for finding particular sites on the World Wide Web. Okay,
that's repeating what I'm saying. So that's what a search engine is. Okay, so we know well Google's not is a verb. To Google something is to find something. We know Google is a company. We know Google, the Google search engine, is just one of the products that they have. And the Google search engine. So let's go a little bit more detail and find out what else we've got. Okay. The main Google website is the search engine. What is a search engine? We've just found out that. What is the Google app? Okay, all right, so let's go into it. Okay, I'm about to show you now what the Google app is. Okay, this particular thing here is the Google app. It looks different to the search engine. I'll show you when we go into it. Notice that's what it looks like. If I change now and go back to my Chrome browser where I had Google there, all right, and I go back on that one, wherever my back button is. Oh, there it is. That's the Google search engine on the World Wide Web. This particular one here is the Google app. Notice they look different. Both have got the word Google on them. Both of them allow you to search for things. But the Google app is different to the Google search engine. Let's find out a bit more. Okay, difference between the Google search and the Google app. So how does the Google search appear? Well, it appeared as I showed you before. We'll just do that again to show you. All right. Okay. Oops. So we go into Google Chrome. That's what the Google search engine looks like when you first call it up. Type in, has a big box there where you can type things in. Okay. The Google app, all right, we'll just switch to that again. Okay. That one there looks like that. Once again, it's got a place where you can type things in. So what's the difference between the two? And why have we got the two? Why is the difference between the Google app and the Google search engine? Let's go back and find out a bit more. Okay. Right. Jumping around all over the place here, I'm sorry. Okay. What are the differences in their use? This is the main thing. What are the differences in their use? Okay, what's the difference between how you use the Google app and how you use a Google search engine? Okay, and this is the main difference, and this is what people get confused, and this is why the whole reason I'm doing this presentation. Okay, it's taken to this stage to be able to get to that. Okay, righto. If we go into the Google app, which is this one here, no it isn't, so my apologies, the Google app there, I can search for something. Notice it says search. I can type in Jeff. Okay. Okay, so if I go to that and search, it searches for something. It's looking for it and finding something to do with Jeff. Notice it's actually taking a bit longer than the normal thing. It comes up with that same sort of stuff that was sent before. So what's the difference when doing it that way and doing it the other way? Okay. All right. So if we go to this one again, and we go to my browser, right? And in the browser, and by the way, I didn't explain what a browser is, but I'll need to explain that later on. I'll do that. And I type in something, Jeff again. It comes up with something as well. Search for it. They look a little bit different. What are the differences? Come on. Why is it going so slow? Comes up with the same result. Notice I've got all these other things here. I don't have all that in that other screen. I go to that other screen, which is the Google app. Oh yeah, it does have those things. My apologies. But it doesn't have a lot of other menus at the top. If I go to the top here, touch the menu there, I've got recent reminders, search, stuff like that. That's all I've got. Whereas if I go to this one, right, in my browser, and I touch the menu, I've got different settings, and also I've got another menu over here altogether. I've got a thing like bookmarks, incognito, history, downloads, find on page, desktop site, etc. They're actually different products. So it's two different products put out by Google as to ways of searching the internet. And what are the other ways it does it? Now, the big difference is that on a normal Google on the internet, you can get it on you can do that on a computer, you can do that on anywhere. The Google app only appears on tablets and phones, right? including iPads, mobile phones and tablet computers. With the Google app, what it does is when you go and look for something, in fact, if I come back out of this, that's this one here is the, it's a bit hard to tell the difference. This one here is the Google search on a web page. If I go to this one, the Google app, all right, it looks different. All right. I didn't want to go to that. Okay. It also provides lots of other things. For example, if I get rid of all this and just stay there, get rid of these notes there, and scroll down to the bottom, sometimes if you just, whoops, get rid of that completely. Just do a search for nothing. Get rid of that. Close that, sorry. Not doing what I want it to do. Then, sometimes it gives you other things that you're used to looking up. For example, if I get that, tell me about myself. What I'm trying to say here, which is I'm not being able to demonstrate very well, is if you go into the Google app, it has what's called artificial intelligence. And with this artificial intelligence, it decides how you've been searching and gives you information more appropriate to what you're searching for. As far as I'm aware, the Google search engine doesn't do that, or if it does, it doesn't do that as much. So if I type the latest news, give me some news, give me some news. Come on. Not working. Always doesn't want to work when you want to do a recording of it. Here's some news, Google News. Notice it's also got search Gmail there, which I don't think you can get when in the Google browser. And it gives me news about things that I'm interested in, not things that are general. So it uses the artificial intelligence to do that. Okay, why is it important to know the difference? The reason it's important to know the difference is there's lots of things. You'll notice if I go to the top here, I can only sorry, that's not what I wanted. I can only have those items in my Google app, whereas if I go to my Chrome and over here I've got this number 1, that 1 indicates that I've got one tab open. I click on there, I can open other tabs, for example, Fred. A few, that'll do. I have another tab open. If I want to switch tabs, I can change tabs. Can't do that in the Google app. You can't have multiple tabs in the Google app. You can have it in a browser. And by the way, I need to explain what a browser is. I didn't do that. I said I'd do that before. Okay, so what's a browser? Okay, so I'll go to my home screen here. There's an example of a browser that came with my phone. A browser is just simply a way that you get onto the internet. Okay. This wants to sign into Google and check in my information. I'll allow that. So that's just one browser. It wants to know wants me to allow all these things because I've never used it before on this particular browser. Okay. Okay. So that's an example of one browser. Let's look at a different browser. Go back to the home screen again. This is the browser I have been using, which is called Google Chrome. A browser is just a way of which you access information on the internet. Now, it appears that the Google app is a very limited browser and not as fancy as the Chrome browser that comes with Google. But there's a distinction. You need to know the distinction. How can you tell the distinction? You can tell the distinction. If I go back to my home screen again there, that is the icon for Google Chrome. That is the icon for a general browser you get on a phone. This is the icon, this one here, for the Google app. If you use that one and you want to bookmark things, you want to have multiple tabs, it won't work. If you use these other two, they will work. If you want to have artificial intelligence and the thing, something learning about what you're doing, you use the Google app. If you don't want to have something learning what you're doing, or less learning of what you're doing, you use an ordinary browser, those ones there. So that's basically it. Any questions? Email me. Bye.